pleased to be here. Welcome you all here to the Agri-Pulse Outlook Conference. Let's get started here. Don't want to keep folks behind. So USDA's Economic Research Service has a mission to anticipate trends and emerging issues that impact the economics of food, agriculture, the environment, and rural America. And our job is to inform policymakers, try to provide that objective economic analysis. We are also one of the 13 principal federal statistical agencies, along with the Bureau of Census, Bureau of Labor Statistics, Bureau of Economic Analysis, and this is a pretty high bar for us to clear. Right? Our job is to provide objective, trusted statistics. We want to acquire quality data. Quality data lead to good statistics, which can lead to good policy. When quality of data suffers, that can lead to bad statistics, and bad statistics will lead to bad policy. So we see ourselves kind of at the forefront here of trying to lay the table, set the table for policymakers to inform them on what the environment is that they need to consider as they develop policy recommendations. So what do we do? What don't we do? So we thought we'd kind of break out the slide here to give you a sense of our job. You know, we do conduct and publish economic research. We look at trends and emerging issues. I like to kind of think of this as a ball sports analogy, maybe a basketball analogy, soccer analogy. You know, we try to move without the ball. Put ourselves in a position to make the play. That's the anticipating trends. But we also deal with these emerging issues that come up that just need to be addressed right away to inform some of the hair-on-fire policy issues that come up. We do a lot of forecasting. I see you folks are in the forecasting business as well on farm income. Maybe we can corral you to our next farm income forecast. But we're looking at domestic markets, and we do a lot of foreign market forecasting to support the USDA. We are safeguarding privacy of data for folks. That's one of our roles as a federal statistical agency, and we take that very seriously. Our job is to provide trusted data and trusted analysis, and we try to be open to everyone. No one has an advantage. What we release goes out to everyone at the same instant. No advance notices, and we guard against those disclosures rigorously. We aren't setting policy. We don't regulate anybody. We don't develop regulations. We don't write regulations. We guard against undue influence. We're very mindful of that. And we don't disclose anything about individuals. We protect privacy in that respect. And no group is favored among others. So we have three broad research branches here. We have food economics, market and trade economics, and resource and rural economics. And so you can see the breakdown there. In the food economics, we have diet, safety, and health considerations. We do food assistance. We also look at the broader food marketing background. And I'll point out a report or two that illustrates that one. Market and trade economics is where a lot of our Outlook staff are based. So animal products, cost of production work is happening in this division. A lot of crop analysis, all different types of commodities. Agricultural policy and models, this is where we do a lot of our projections and forecasting, and international trade and development. And the rural and resources and rural economics division has several branches: firm structure, technology, productivity. These are kind of US-wide trends that we're looking at, as well as some international agricultural productivity trends. The farm economy, most familiar to you folks with the farm income forecast that comes out of that branch. We have a rural economy branch that's looking at the changing structure of the rural economy in terms of demographics. Farm labor issues are kind of top on that list, as well as a conservation and environment branch, which is looking at a lot of these issues that you probably be thinking about in terms of ecosystem services, these alternative revenue streams for farmers. This would come under this branch, as well as looking at conservation reserve program. So our research, we've been a pretty productive group, even though we're a highly remote workforce. We have staff in 40 different states. 85% of our staff are remote. That means their home is their duty station. But we remain quite productive in what we do. Right? So you can see the numbers there, nearly 170 reports, Outlook newsletters, different Amber Waves features, and more. Number of ways we communicate out the work we do. Nearly 100 journal articles in scientific outlets, and as well, we do webinars that try to advance, promote the work that we've done. Some of them are on our research. Some of these webinars relate to our data products. We put out a number of different data products, and that get a lot of traction. We have over 80 different data products up on our website that are publicly available. So I can give you 3 examples of research here at a glance. So some of you are aware of the farm income forecast. We do that 3 times a year. And so that's February, September, 2 weeks ago, and there'll be another one coming in December. And so we release these farm income statements and balance sheet estimates. And these are just core statistic indicators here that provide guidance to policymakers, lenders, many of you folks here in the room. So after adjusting for inflation, the net farm income forecast is to decrease about nearly 7% in 2024 relative to 23. And despite this decline, it's still, net farm income is still above the 20-year average. And the forecast changed in September relative to February upon forecasting reversal in production expenses. Production expenses were forecast to decline. Let's see here. So the next one is household food security in the United States. That was also a report released 2 weeks ago. And this is tracking how households find their food security situation. And so we see that 86.5% of households consider themselves food secure. 13.5% of the households are food insecure. This is an increase from last year. It was about 12.8% last year. So this has been a trend going up since 2022. And although the increase this past year has been at a slower rate than the prior year. Children are food insecure at times during 2023 as well, nearly 9% of the U.S. households. But that's similar to the estimate last year. So no change really in food insecurity among children, although that number had increased a couple of years prior. So these are some trends that we've been tracking, and this is actually considered, we're one of the world leaders here in tracking food insecurity at household levels, and it's a pretty important activity, I think, on our part. Both the farm income forecast and the household food security report, they garner quite a bit of attention with statements from policymakers on all sides. Another report that just came out last week is looking at food insecurity, but at the international level. We call it the International Food Security Assessment. And we do this forecast and we project it out 10 years. And several factors impact the prevalence of food security, including the availability of food, market conditions as well, access to food, stability of prices and income, as well as utilization, which we think of as food safety, nutritional knowledge. And what we find here is that food insecurity is expected and internationally expected to decrease over time. And that's largely driven by income is expected to be increasing across the world. Now, there's several countries that did find worsened food insecurity this past, as we're forecasting going forward for this year. Syria, Iran, Laos, Egypt, Gambia, Moldova, Libya, Bangladesh, and Haiti. So we're looking at 83 different countries around the world here, the most food insecure countries. And here's just an example here of a number of different reports we have put out recently. I won't go through all the titles, but we have a booth here at the back, and you should visit them. They can give you some more input on that. One more research at a glance here, the state trade data, state ag trade data. And so we're looking at the top 5 agricultural import and export commodities in a given state, their destinations, the value to each state. And so these are available on our website. You can download it, look up your favorite state. We have data visualizations, quite a few of them up, nearly 60, I think at last count. And those are always very popular to take a look at. And we're also looking at delivering timely research on these emerging issues, as I mentioned. A number of them relate to climate change, equity, food price inflation has been a very hot topic for us lately. Crop disease, some work on pollinators. And I also want to put a plug in. Senator Moran talked about the Farm Bill. We have a Farm Bill First Friday feature in our Amber Ways. If you go back to our booth here, you can scan QR code and you can see what we've been putting up. So we've tried to provide some contemporary information on the Farm Bill, in particular how our research relates to Farm Bill deliberations. Just a couple of things to think about coming up on the horizon. We have 3 publications that you may find of interest. In early November, Rural America at a Glance for 2023 is going to come up. That's probably when you're a federal statistical agency, you kind of got to wait for the data to come in before you can talk about what happened. So we're always going to be a little bit behind, but the data are quite thorough. And so this report looks at changes in the economic sector, labor force, growth in rural areas. We'll have a farm income forecast again in December for 2024. And then we also have America's Farms and Ranches at a Glance 2024 coming out in mid-December 10th. And this is going to look at a lot of the latest statistics on U.S. farms, including production, financial performance, household characteristics. So I encourage you to take a look at what ERS has to offer. We have a number of different platforms. You can engage with us, and we hope you find it useful to your deliberations and informative. And again, please visit our booth. Thank you very much.